Hola, audiencia, y bienvenidos a Oye Cinema Club. Hi, I'm tonight's host, Jason Ishmael Eccles. Tonight we will be reviewing the 2019 film Booksmart, but I'm not alone. I'm joined by my illustrious panel of co-hosts, Marina, and of course, Steve. So, you guys, we watched this movie, Booksmart. The reason I picked it is because it was on the 2000, or excuse me, the 1001 movies you must see before you die list. And last week's movie was a teen film. So I said, you know what? I'm staying here, but I can sort of stay within the genre a little bit. And so I went with this one right here. Didn't know anything about it. I think maybe I saw the actress like maybe interviewing after this movie came out, but I didn't really know much about its existence at all. I just kind of remember it was like semi popular. I don't know. I don't know what it was, but it was on that list, and I remember when it came out. I liked it a lot. Um, so I can't wait to get into it and talk to you guys about it. So yeah, let's jump straight into first impressions. I won't go first. I'll just say that I really look forward to hearing from you guys. So whoever speaks first can do their initial thought, and we're gonna be
I'll go
quiet.
first. Yeah. So this was my first time watching it. I thought that it wasn't. I thought I had seen this movie because I believe one of the actresses plays in Lady Bird, which was also around this age range, school, young girls figuring themselves out kind of vibe. So it was kind of a surprise. I kept saying like, man, I don't remember this part, but I remember I watched this. I don't remember this part, but I remember and then eventually I was like, I have never seen this movie in my life. And so it was my first time watching it. I love a good high school movie. It was kind of cool to see a modern one. I feel like we've kind of like tanked on our old school ones. I want to believe in them, but I feel like we haven't found a good one recently. So it was kind of cool to see something a little more modern, a little more layered. I do like how movies about adolescence these days talks about like the layers of different kinds of teenagers. It's not just popular and not popular. There's different types of people within the circles. Like I do like that, and I think this movie did a really good job at it. Um, and overall, it was a really good movie. I really had a good first impression of it, and I'm gonna enjoy talking about the characters with you guys.
Yeah, right on. That's a great first impression, I think, and mine is similar. I'll tell you about it later. But right now, we're gonna hear from Steve.
Okay, I am so happy that I wasn't the first person to go. Let me preface all this by saying I am definitely not the target demographic for a movie like this. Let, let me just say that right off the bat. Because in the beginning, I was like, in the very beginning scene, I was like, okay, this is going to be like a feminist movie. And then the other scene that like the friend comes and they start dancing, I was like, okay, it's gonna be a funny movie. At least they're gonna get me with the comedy. But then as it progresses, I was like, oh, this is more like Gen Z type comedy, I guess, like what the new age watches. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get into this. So the things that kept me in the movie were like the cameos from like Jessica Williams, Jason Sudeikis, like all these different people when they were popping. It was like, oh, I'm almost falling asleep, but it's like, oh, there's this person here, and then oh, there's this person here. So that, and then the music, because I would think half of the budget of this film just went to licensing all these songs because they just had so many popular songs like throughout the film and stuff. So those were honestly the main two things that kept me like awake through this film. Because again, I'm not the target demographic for this film. I know some people would probably love this film or whatever, but like for me in particular, I was like constantly fighting, going like, "Wait, there's more movie. Like, when is this movie over?" Like that's literally what I was like fighting with, because I was like, why is this movie so long? That was like my biggest thing throughout this film. But I had like maybe a couple scenes that I chuckled. That's about it. That's my first impressions.
All right. Thank you, Steve, for your first impressions. It really, I'm going to say, it really breaks my heart a little bit that you can absolutely love this thing the way that I did. I love this movie. So my first impression, like I said, didn't know what I was getting into, but when it first started, I kind of had the same kind of inkling as you, Marina, where it's like, oh, here's a modern age teenage movie, like, and I was like, oh, this is probably the newest like teen movie I've seen of like this generation of like teens. These are like teens from like just before the pandemic, essentially. And I was like, okay, like this will be interesting to see life through their perspective as being a teen. And something also similar came up to me is like in all of like the movies from like the 80s and 90s and whatnot, there was always like the popular kids, and then like everybody kind of revolved around them, like their life and their world. Maybe that started to change with like Clueless, perhaps, and maybe even like Breakfast Club, but like very few teen movies go into those levels, like that texture where there are groups of kids in school, which is like more like it. Like these are groups. It's not just like the popular kids and everybody revolves around their orbit. You know what I mean? Although the popular kids, from their perspective, probably do think that everybody's revolving around their orbit. But I don't know. Maybe that sentiment is lost like a little bit now. Like maybe kids don't still have that same type of angst. At least not in this movie. What I loved about this movie is that these kids are the script. First off, the script is so funny. Whoever wrote this dialogue, goodness, it's so good, and it's nonstop. It's like watching theater. It's like it's all dialogue, and they couldn't have cast it better because every single one of these kids were so good and so memorable, and they all handled the dialogue, and they all handled the ensemble of like bouncing off each other really well. And that comes down to the director, who was able to like put all these pieces together. It could be the editing as well. I don't know. But the director formulated this movie, and the director it's Olivia Wilde. I had no clue. Like she directed a comedy, and for my buck, this is a top 10 teen comedy for me now. It's so funny. I do love the cameos in it. I love Lisa Kudrow the most because she said the least of all the cameos, but she made me laugh the most just by her facial expressions. I'm like, what made Lisa Kudrow like do this movie? I kept like she's barely in it, and she doesn't have hardly any lines, and she just makes so much of every moment, and it just like heightens the movie, for me. And I think what it is that those actors who get the cameos, I think they also recognize like how rare this script is, especially for high school kids. It's such a smart read, even. I'm just really impressed with like the filmmaking and the chemistry, and so many of these characters are so memorable. So I can't wait to ask you guys who your favorite characters are in this thing. So let's just jump into that because there's so many to choose from.
I want to go first because I feel like we have a history of liking similar characters.
Sure.
So I'm going to say, obviously the two main actresses are great, and this doesn't take away from them. Like, they're amazing. I love their chemistry and all that, but I definitely like Jared, the misunderstood one percenter. I knew I was going to like him immediately when like he walked in and gave the teacher a present that wasn't even his teacher, and like this whole like thinking he can buy everybody, and it's just totally not working, which is so funny because usually people can be bought. So you really, really suck at this.
That's what Jared said. He goes, no, I'm pretty sure you can be. He goes, my grandpa, my dad, they all do it.
But it's not working. Like, you're that much of a cornball that you can have a yacht party and give away free iPads and nobody's coming to your party. Like, this is
that's what I couldn't understand either, Marina. Let's go into that a little bit too.
Like, I was like, man, like, you really, like, people really must not care for you at all, because like, yeah, I've seen people bought for less. Like I know, Nick's a cool guy and all, but like you tell me you're gonna have a yacht party and gift bags, I'm gonna be there
It
today.
seems like it would have been that way. Like it was so weird because that's the first thing I thought of when I saw that yacht. I'm like, why did no one show up to this party? It's on a yacht.
Except for what's our girl from Star Wars, except for her daughter. It was funny seeing her around. She's definitely a strong contender for favorite character. Um, what's her name? Ah, shoot, what's the lady in the white dress on Star Wars? The actress Carrie Fisher. Is that Carrie Fisher?
Yeah, Carrie Fisher. She's related to Carrie Fisher?
Her daughter is Billie Lourd. She just doesn't go by her
Oh, I
mom's
know
last.
that.
Yeah. So it was just funny seeing her. Like she's always playing like a ditzy teen. So yeah, she was a funny highlight. But yeah, and like you said, like it is tapping into more of like a group thing. But I personally see it as like understanding that people are still individual. Even if you're in the same crew, you're not all the same. Even if you're like, I feel like a lot of like before movies, like it just made it seem like everybody in the group thinks alike and maybe there's one betrayer. But in reality, everyone has opinions, everyone has their own home life, everybody has a reason why they do things that they do. I do like that it tapped into it. I can see how it can come across as like doing the most, which is what Steve probably was like this is too much information. But the way my mind works, I really enjoyed getting to know each characters, like the indigenous actor, the teacher, like the silly Asian guy. Like there's just so many different types of people. And but yeah, my favorite still has to be our little misunderstood rich kid. Like he was my
That's
favorite.
a interesting choice. I didn't think anybody was going to pick him. Steve, I'm gonna just jump right in front of you, Steve, only because you mentioned Billy Lord, and that's my favorite character. So to piggyback off of that,
Oh.
she was she was so freaking funny to me. And I mean, obviously, I know it's the editing and a lot of her jokes, but Olivia Wilde, as a director, must did a really good job of explaining to Billy Lord like what she wanted from her in these scenes because they seem like really sort of connected and understanding of how this comedy plays with this type of character. Because a big part of the joke with her is that she just keeps popping up. She's never where you expect her to be, and she's just there. And she's all she's so esoteric and funny and just loose and free and insane. And I would imagine she is a rich kid too, right? Because she's hanging around the rich kid, right? Like
Aren't
that's
they
her friend.
brother and sister? Or no? They're not brother and sister?
Are they related?
I thought so. But then at one
think
point, I think she asked her if she was dating her. Like, I think at one point she was like, is that your girlfriend? So maybe not. I
Yeah, I
don't
don't. I just
know.
think they were friends. I was like,
Okay.
is she just taking advantage of like not taking advantage? So she clearly was his friend, but like, is she just taking advantage of like this dude luxurious lifestyle? And she goes, this is just more comfortable being around him because everything's so nice. I didn't know, but it didn't even matter because the fact that she was at every party that night, like, and and the fact that she when she turned around and she popped up and she was like right there, it was visual gag like that. Like she like you never knew she's like a ninja in the movie. So yeah, that's like when she came in at graduation playing the piano, I fucking lost it. I'm like, why is she playing the piano? Like, and she's clearly hungover while she does. It was amazing, and everybody seems so smart too. So
Mhm.
it's like by the end of the movie, I'll just say this, and then Steve, you could give us your favorite character. By the end of the movie, I thought to myself, like, this is like a school for smart kids because even though like they seem like goof offs, they all got into good schools. They're all going to like these prestige universities, like in this group. I'm like, so it's just funny. It's even funnier to me, like that everybody at the school was kind of smart and they thought they were special because they were working so hard at school. Never seen that concept in a film before either. But
Yeah.
we'll
I,
talk
I
more about
keep
that.
I keep circling back to it too. Like I do think it was the purpose. I would really love to hear the writers like what they went into doing it because it is true. There are people that are cool, but like low key they do their homework. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
not everybody who's like cool is doing, and I like that concept because like I do feel like it's a vicious cycle. And again, we shouldn't bully anybody or anything like that, but I do feel like sometimes people have a chip on their shoulder because they worked so hard. and didn't have fun. And it's like, no one told you to do that. And there are people out there who are balanced. You know what I mean? Like they
Right.
did it balanced. Like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with working hard and hope, getting scholarships and stuff like that. But there are other things like, and it's just what it is. Like, just mind your own business and don't judge people. And I think like, I like that lesson is being taught, like even in this way. But yeah, that was a pretty funny scene when she finds out that they're all going to good colleges.
It's it's the turning point of the film, essentially, right? Like this is like, oh, this is what the story is about right here. Like now we're about to get into the adventure. It's like the end of Act One, which is just like it's almost a cliffhanger. Like, well, damn, where do we go now? Knowing that like everything that made you special, you're not special. All right, the big party is the. It's a really good play on a common sort of teen story, the end of the year party, the prom, the whatever, graduation day, whatever, spring break, whatever, like the high school stories are always sort of centered around. It was really a nice way of sort of doing it. Teen social life and all that jazz. Uh, Also, just because of the same character, Annabelle, because of what you said, Marina, her monologue, her monologue in that car ride home is one of the best. It's one of the best I've ever seen in a teen movie. It's so good. But not just because of how it's written, how she delivers it is so like she could have delivered that way different. But I feel like she chose the best, funniest way.
It was a good heart to heart. But yeah, we can talk about that more. Our
Yeah.
little roadside assistance girly. But Steve,
Sure. Steve, favorite character, bud.
Steve is like, you guys are so excited about this movie.
Yeah, I thought I thought I was annexed from talking for saying my first impressions. Uh, well, favorite character, I have to go personally with Jessica Williams' character,
Mm,
the teacher. Just because when I saw Jason Sudeikis, I was like, "Oh, cool that he's in the movie. It's gonna be funny." But I feel like he was tame,
sure.
and stuff. But then with Jessica Williams and the fact that they like put a scene that she sleeps basically with a student,
It's great.
stuff like that, I was like, "Oh, amazing!" And then on top of that, they put that also she's also an Uber driver. You know, like Jason Sudeikis was a Uber driver, and then she's giving the girls a ride as well. And then she's like, "Wouldn't it be funny if I was in the party too? Like, wouldn't that be weird?" And then she's in the
Yeah.
party, and
She
then
said, wouldn't
she
that be crazy?
and like yeah, and then they finish that with the graduation scene. Yeah, to me that was dope because like it was great to see her. I was like, "Oh my god, it's cool to see her." And stuff, and then on top of
Like,
that,
listen, if I was a teacher, I would have felt the same way. Like, these kids are actually pretty cool, and I don't mind hanging out with them. Like, they weren't like dumb high school kids. They were like smart people.
I thought you meant like the having sex with a student. If I was a teacher, I'm like, man, these kids are pretty darn cool.
I'm just saying, I can see how she would be lured in by these kids, but all the kids loved her too.
Yeah.
Like, she was the teacher that all the kids in the school loved.
I had to regulate my emotions on that whole scenario because I was just like, when she first came into because I've been one to like go with the script and then like feel disgusting. Like I watched all seasons of Pretty Little Liars, and I'm like, was I really rooting for the teacher and his student to like make it work? Like that's pretty gross. Like so I was just like, wait, he said we had a great time last night. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, okay. Am I just being like it's okay because she's a woman? I'm like, okay, but wait, it's graduation day, so he's 18. I was going back and forth.
He was
no,
20.
he's 20.
He failed
Oh, he
twice.
skipped 2 times. Okay, I see what they did there. So I feel better.
He was a full grown man.
Like
But
she asked, she said like, "You're 20, right?"
Okay, yeah. Okay. No,
I mean, he was going to be working for Google as soon as high school ended.
Oh yeah, she said
He had a job lined up for him like the day after high school to start Google. So I mean, like these were smart ass fucking kids. I mean, but he was a man. He was a girl. But yeah, I love the way they tap hands around that joke.
He was a man, but he was still practicing in the mirror. Like, okay, have you been with a Mexican before?
Yeah, there's 75-year-old men who still do that.
Funny enough, Jessica Williams is one of my girl crushes. I think she's just like
Me
such
too.
a unique, pretty essence to her.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, but
Yeah. I have a total crush on Jessica Williams. Like, actually, when I was watching, I didn't know she was in this movie, and I was like, "Oh, Jessica Williams in this. This is my absolute crush."
I know that was one of the turning points because I'm like, ain't no way I forgot she was in this. I must have not seen this. That's one of my points where it was like, because when the principal came, I was like, okay, maybe I just forgot he's in it. And then when she came, I was like, no, never watched this before. I would have remembered that one.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but everybody in the school also sort of had a crush on her. They all loved her to death. So her being at the party, it's kind of like they're like, yeah, the teacher's here. Like nobody was like, oh man, what the fuck is the teacher doing here?
Also, what were the drugs that they took? Because they faded. That effect fade too quick that they turn into dolls.
Oh, what did they take
Mushroom?
where they started thinking they were high on? Somebody gave them. What did they give them?
She said she dipped the strawberries in something, but she literally said it so mysteriously. She's like, I'm
Yeah,
surprised it hasn't hit you yet.
like
And
she put like acid or LSD or something on them.
is that
Well,
a quick turnaround?
that's
I
not.
mean, probably a pretty instant turnaround, to be honest with you.
To be
But what
honest with
about
you,
turned down?
from a person that has done that before, that is not believable.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what drug it was, but um, I did like that scene too. Usually, I don't like it when movies like kind of turn into like cartoons and get drugged out. But the way they did that one, I really liked the way it was animated. It was really great. And then I kept thinking like, okay, how are they going to come out of this? Because like when they're naked in front of the mirror, I'm like, are they really naked in front of the mirror? Like, did they take all their clothes off in these people's room right now? Like that was got had me going too. I'm like, that's pretty fucking funny. Like they better not get caught in the mirror naked high. I'm like, but people who get high, they do look into the mirror or whatever. So it's like all that was very funny and felt very truthful. I was like, but how are they going to come out of this scene? Like, how are they going to like get back into the real world? And like, or where are they going to wake up and like things are normal? And then just them coming out like the dolls, like I'm like, come on, man. There's a connection there that's just like that's a director knowing how to direct actors to get the effect she wants. You know what I'm saying? Because they didn't see that animation beforehand, probably. They just had to work off of that. It was great.
And it also worked out where they were at. They were in a place where people were playing characters too.
Yeah.
So they just thought that they were getting into it, probably. He's like, what character are they?
That was another weird party on their quest to get to the main party. That was a weird party.
And then that was funny because like it looked so fancy, but then when he looked in the kitchen and told his family to like be quiet, like the kitchen did not match the rest of the house, but I'll let them
No,
have it.
that's pretty funny. It might have been like a grandiose thing, like in his imagination, he was making it this big thing or whatever. But that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That's pretty funny. Yeah, no, yeah, because they were all kind of like acting like sort of like young adults already. They were all acting like 28-year-olds or something. And the fact that like their parents are just kind of, I do like that they show the parents because we talk about that when we watch teen movies. Like, where are the parents? Whenever the parents
Mhm.
are like so absent, all their parents were like in and throughout this thing. And I do like that there was adult influence throughout these kids' lives.
Oh yeah, Will Forte was in it.
Will Forte was in it. That was Lisa Kudrow's husband, and then who else was in it? Talked about Sudeikis, Jessica Williams. Were they the only adults? Oh,
Oh,
then the other family, that kid's family.
who was the guy that was the serial killer, the pizza delivery guy?
Oh, right. He's. I forget his name. I think he's a writer at SNL or something like that.
Oh, it's funny. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. Like going around and around because like they kept teasing us in the car. Like I'm like, is he really gonna try to kill him? Like, because he kept saying stuff like, and I was like, okay, maybe not. And then for it to come full circle in the end, Like, how are you gonna get me out? Oh, because we've definitely seen this guy. I was like,
I love
oh,
how they
love
closed up all the characters as well. This is
that.
terrific. Because I had
Yeah.
to think about it for a second. I'm like, wait, who is that guy? I'm like, oh, right, that guy.
Yeah, like duh, but like not duh. It took me a sec too. I was like, yeah, that was pretty funny. And then I'd be like offended, like I wasn't your type to kill. Goodness gracious. It's just
And he
like
told them he was so disappointed in how easy of a kill they would have been. I think
that's
that's what it
probably
is.
why.
Don't you know
Anyway,
anything?
it's like, don't show me your passcode. Gosh. Like, that's how I text your mom and tell her that you're running away. God.
Oh my God. Insane. That's so funny. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Who actually wrote this script? Like, I don't even know who. Does it say? Where does it say who wrote this thing? Because I didn't look that up. But I think it's such a tight script with dialogue, and just as a comedy, it works.
Three
The
women.
callbacks.
I think ChatGPT did.
Oh, Emily
Three.
Halpern, Sarah Haskins, and
Ooh,
Suzanne
Emily was
Bobo.
written some Blackish. I could definitely see that comedy. Like I definitely see that sitcom comedy because like a sitcom, the episode usually ends and starts and ends with the joke closing. So the fact that she has some sitcom writing, yeah, Sarah Haskins, Emily Halpin, and Susanna. Oh, I
Yeah,
can
so there's
see.
three writers. There's three lady writers on this. Yeah, and I can kind of tell it was written by women as well. I think maybe that's what Steve didn't like about it the most.
No, no, it's not that. Like what I didn't like is just that I don't know if it's because what I'm watching as of late has like very high stakes, but like it was difficult for me to get into like especially the main characters, like what was going on with them because it was
Yeah,
just like they're just finishing high school, they're rich kids already. Like all these different things were the things that were like, what's the stakes that she likes this person? Like I was just
right.
like, and I've been watching things that have stupid high stakes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
when I watched this, it was just like, okay, and how long is this movie? So yeah.
Yeah, I got to get back. The president was kidnapped on my show. I got to see what's going on.
And I think that probably says something about like my personality. Like I go through waves. And if we would have watched this on another week, I might have felt the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like it really, I do go through moods when it comes to the content that I'm putting into my body. Like on the other hand, a lot of my popular drama shows, I've inhaled them recently. So I think I needed a break from the high stakes. And so it was kind of cool to get something lighthearted and still was an adventure, very like super bad, very like,
Yeah,
it still was like, it was goofy and there was no really huge point to it all. But I think on the other hand, I've been needing something like this lately because I've been like really like ingesting like dramas, thrillers. So I needed to shift. So it was good timing for me. Because sometimes I'd be like, oh man, I don't really have time for silly stuff right now. But it was good timing for me.
Do you guys think this movie could have been shorter?
I just don't know what I would have
I
cut
kind of
out.
wanted more.
I think I was perfectly fine with it. Because like again, I do think you have to be in the mood for this kind of thing, but I was down for every left turn they took because there was a lot of like wrong ways.
So here's my complaint. There's scenes that were elongated to oblivion. For example, and I get it. You spend a budget, you want to show these things. When they're like throwing water condoms at each other on school, that felt like an eternity music video. Like that could have been shorter. I get that there's a lot of budget and stuff and set design decorating and all this stuff that you want to show in slow motion, but it could have been shorter. And there's many aspects, there's moments a lot in this film that to me literally felt like music videos, like moments that were like music videos like that could have been shorter, but it's like they're trying to use this whole budget because I'm curious to know the budget. I'm talking about a lot of the budget, I have no idea, but like just because of the songs and the people, famous people that were doing cameos and all this stuff, I'm pretty sure they paid pretty penny for all this stuff.
So the budget was 6 million. We'll get into that early. The budget was 6 million. million
I'm shocked. I'm
dollars.
I'm shocked.
Uh, and the box office was about 24 million. So not a terribly expensive movie for 2019, but there aren't like any stars really playing any of the roles. These are a bunch of unknowns for the most part. It seems like so you probably just paid them like a regular rate, and the cameos are probably mostly just them looking out for a friend. I mean, the principal was her husband at the time, right? So Jason Sudeikis, I mean, Jessica Williams, you probably had to pay her, and Will Forte and Kudrow, maybe you had to pay them something, but they didn't have that many days. So yeah, I mean, not a terrible high budget for a movie like this. I was curious about the scene you said that was. Are you talking about the slow motion scene where they're throwing the water balloon condoms at their faces?
Yeah, that's one, but there's like a few throughout the
Yeah, I
movie.
mean, it
But
definitely,
that
if
was
you're
just
not
the end
into it,
credits.
but if
That
you're
was just
not
the movie
into
was over
it,
at that point.
No,
if you're
that was
not,
in the middle of the movie. What are you talking about?
Are you talking about the splashing the
that's
slow
hard.
motion condoms?
She's like walking in school and then she gets like a thing blasted
Oh,
in her.
that. Okay, I thought you meant the one at the end. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, those are like paint bubbles. But I was gonna say, like, if you were not into it, I could see how it can seem long. Like even the Uber ride, right? Like it was long. It was a long scene, but I enjoyed every second of it. But if I wasn't enjoying it, I probably would have been like, okay, do we really need to watch the porn in the back seat? And does it need to get on the radio? Like there was like they made you sit through their awkward
You
silence
knew it
as
was going
they're
to happen too.
adjusting to each other. But I didn't mind it. But if I wasn't into it, I could definitely see how some of these scenes, yeah. And like I think you said it too, Jason. You said it was very like theater like, and there were long monologues. And usually, if the monologues are too long, you lose me. But for some reason, I loved every second of everybody's words in
Because
this.
it was comedy. It was all
Probably.
in comedic jets. So it's like, yeah, the monologues are really easy to listen to in a movie like this because one, the writing is just sharp, and then like the delivery of the actors doing it, they just that's what kind of blew me away too. I'm like, they're so young to get it. All the actors in this
Mhm.
movie, like usually actors this age, they don't quite get the comedy like that. So it's like I just feel like all these kids could really have a career because they're all
Yeah,
very special comedically.
that's what you
The
think.
main
You think
girl
they're kids, but
who
they're 25.
What's
they're
that?
28,
What?
29 now.
I
You
didn't hear
think
um,
they're
you.
kids,
Say it one
but
more time.
so you think they're kids, but they're 29.
I know, right?
so the main actress, I really liked her acting too, but there's this little part in the back of my head that makes me think like she's annoying in real life. Does anybody feel that way?
I
I
did
feel
feel like
like
that because I'm going to tell you why, though. It's probably for different reasons, but I'd like to hear yours.
so for me, just the way it could be her acting talk, but for me, I could just totally just see her being like, "Yeah, and I booked this movie. Adam McKay and Will Ferrell are the EPs." And I could just totally see her just being like, "Yeah, you just gotta work hard and you gotta." And she totally could have just been doing a really good job at playing like this snooty little stuck-up girl who's not necessarily popular, but she knows everything. So she either
Nah,
did a really, really good job, or she's
nah,
like that in real life.
nah, bro. I agree, and I think that's also another reason why I couldn't get into the movie. Because it's just like I'm like when I watch a movie, it's to me a movie should be like wrestling. In wrestling, there's the baby face and there's the heel, the good guy and bad guy. So it has to be something, some type of tension, something to fight for, but you need someone to root for. And like it was difficult unless it was like some side character. That's why I was like Jessica Williams was my favorite. Cause just like she was the only one that I was like, yeah, I support you. Or you slept with a 20-year-old. It was a student, but it's all good. He's graduating. He's going to school. It's all good. And it was a one-time thing because he was like, "Can I see you again?" And she was like, go to Google. you know. So like, but like she low key, like well, like at the end, that's when I noticed, like when they were doing the scene that they were basically saying goodbye to each other. Like I was like, that moment, if the film had focused just slightly more, not in the superficial way, but in a deeper way, about their relationship, like their friendship, I think it would have been stronger for me. But like to me, it also felt like they weren't even real friends. You know what I'm saying? Like they were just pretending to be friends for the actual film. But like I didn't see the real emotion aspect of it. Like she had like the single tear, but like yeah, to me felt like if it was up to her, she would have been like, "This is my movie," you know.
And I think they do. I do think, like, again, they wanted her to be a self-centered character. And I do like it could be a like a girl thing and having girlfriends thing. Like I definitely I believe the relationship, but I also believe why they blew up. And I believe how they made up. You have to make that choice. I think that's one good thing about those high school relationships. I feel like the relationships you make when you're younger are probably like the easiest to blow up and make up because you trust each other. And you know at the end of the day, if you talk it out, that person probably has a good intention. Whereas when you meet adults, you never know what they're in it for. You know what I mean? They could be wanting to be next to you because you could get them an opportunity. They may be like jealous of you. And that can all happen in high school, but for the most part, you still know each other's innocence to an extent because you're meeting at such like a young space. So it was believable, but I definitely when they did argue, I could feel that. I definitely saw her always controlling things. Like it just like I understood why she hid it from her, that she wasn't going to follow the rules and follow her plan and all that stuff. Um, but yeah, but it was hard. I do agree. Like it did force you to kind of like everyone because yeah, I didn't root for the main character as much as I usually do in a high school film. Because even like in Mean Girls, where they need to pay me at this point for all this, how much I bring up Mean Girls, but no, even in Mean Girls, like the Lindsay Lohan's character, at some points you're not rooting for her, but for the most part, I'm always rooting for her. You know what I mean? Like I don't want her to lose, even though at some point she gets lost in the popularity. In this one, yeah, it was tough. It's like, what do I really want for the main character? And that was probably the only thing I did want. I wanted her and her friend to be okay because I could tell that they were like drifting. And it's kind of sad because, high school's ending. Are you still going to be friends and stuff like that? But yeah, it was different. And I don't think I've felt less attached to a main character while watching something like this before.
Yeah, that was an interesting. I don't even know if you would call that a B, C, or C story, but the drifting in their relationship, which you would think that would kind of be the A story, and it, to a degree it was. It wasn't though. Like getting to the party and having a great night was like that was the event, or maybe that's just the adventure that they were set upon. Maybe that's, and then like the story is actually about them drifting apart. But for me, like I really love that payoff, like at the end. Where you feel like, okay, they drifted, but there was something weird about it because I'm like, she's being really hard on her friend, like as they're drifting, and I had so many questions. Like I paused the movie for a second at that moment because I did something else for a split second, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, why aren't the parents driving her to the airport? Like I just like that, like your parents were so obsessed with you and your high school graduation and all these different aspects of your life, and then all of a sudden they don't even want to see you like to the airport. So that kind of
Bro,
like pulled me out of that moment a little
bro,
bit.
why didn't the parents go to jail?
For what?
For what? She was in jail.
Oh,
Oh
right,
yeah,
right. The jail scene. I mean, the parents may have been in jail, but also her friend came to visit her in jail. So I mean, like, you can only see one person at a time type thing. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. I get it. That was it. It was just for the sake of comedy, like that.
it crossed my mind too. Like, wow, she really is gonna go in and out of jail and her parents didn't notice. Because I mean, I get the overnight thing. Like, they thought she was spending the night elsewhere, but dang, like your friend really got you out of it to a point where her parents don't know she went to jail. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of believable because I mean, technically she's 18. Like, they don't have to call your parents. Like,
I've
I don't
never
know.
quite seen anything like that in a high school movie either. Like I've never. I think we've seen people go to jail for like a split second and get bailed out immediately, with like right
By their
before they
parents.
get beat up or something. I feel like we've seen that, but yeah, we've never seen anybody in jail like as like this is the driving point of the story. You ended up in jail. You know what I mean? Like that's how. Yeah, I thought that was yeah, and then like the way they played it, I thought that was great. I love, like, mind you, I love this movie. Like, I don't think there's a misstep really. The main character, I will agree with you guys with. She is annoying, but I think because the character is annoying, and I think it's one of those things when I think her performance is so good that it's one of those things where, like, we haven't seen her do much else, so this must be her. I just think that she's a really good actor. We'll know later on in her career once we see her play other things. But truthfully, like she could just sort of play kind of like a different versions of this character for a while. For me, I liked it so much. I just think she's so funny. She was so ahead of the joke sometimes. Like, I don't know if you guys would notice. I mean, it's hard to tell in film too because the director uses the tape. But some of the better takes, I mean, like she's like about to laugh in some of these moments of the movie. A couple times, like you see her about to like crack up because like the scene that she does with like Lisa Kudrow and Will Forte when they're all messing with that masturbation bear, and like that whole scene, like you see her like literally about to crack up, like, and she smacks it out of his hands and just like, okay, like, and then how they switch to the next subject group. It's so funny, man. It's such a great ensemble performances and everybody's like spot on beat. And I think she's like a good musician playing just ahead of the beat a little bit, or even surprised in the moment. Like she's just a really good actor, man. I think she's probably a really good improviser too. She just seems very alive, very in the moment for me. And I think with like we kind of probably felt the same way about like Napoleon Dynamite's performance, for example. Like we think that's really who that guy is until we see him do other work. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
think when you see a character do something so good their first time, you like think that's got to be them.
And I'm trying to remember too. Like I feel like I have to rewatch it, but I feel like in Lady Bird, she had like a meek personality. So I kind of want to go
Right?
back
She
and
was a
watch
Lady Bird.
it. She was like I think she was more like than like the really, really nice friend. So it's kind of cool too, like, to like bring out the elephant in the room. It's kind of cool to see like a full figured actress playing in this kind of role because
I like that too.
usually I feel like people that are this like cocky and confident aren't normally played by someone who looks like her. And I'm really happy to see her playing it and doing so well. It wasn't forced. I don't want to sound like those people who are like I miss the old America. Like no, it wasn't. Didn't feel forced. Like she just really like felt like she played that person. And it is true. You don't have to be supermodel to be great or be beautiful and be confident. So that was very another pro I really liked about it. Yeah.
I feel like she worked really hard in this movie too. Like that dance scene that she does with the dude. The dude feels like a legitimate, real dancer.
I'm
Like
curious.
the way he was moving, like his like just he felt like he had like a dancer's body. He felt like a dancer. And she's doing this very well choreographed scene with him where she's just giving all the effort in the world to like match his dance cool. And to me that was just so funny. Because I'm like, just like from just not even her like as a character in the movie, but just like her as an actor, I'm like, wow, you worked really hard to pull this scene off because the scene works.
Yeah, I really did. Um, it was so I don't know if you had anything else that you wanted to specifically talk about, but I remember you were talking about the car scene with Roadside Girl. What would you guys say is like your favorite monologue from it? Like so that one person their time to shine and having like their comedy moment.
Hmm. Um, I really, yeah, that one really stuck out to me big time. The the roadside because we hear her being called roadside and like they have like some girls chattering about it in the back, so it's like we know it's a thing and then like guys are calling it to, but the way that she explains it and like it's like it kind of plays on this idea of high school where it's like his story, her story, and the truth, and somewhere it lies in between even all of those, right? It's this idea that like, okay, she really was helping these guys, these three guys. So it's funny for like them, the four group, the three guys and her to call her roadside or whatever. It's funny because it's like it's their inside joke that she keeps happening to find people on the side of the road and helping them. And then when she explains that's why they do it, like it's not roadside head or whatever, that's just part of the joke. And she goes, okay, fine. Also, I did give them. It's like, come on, man. Like that right there is just so funny, and it's so freeing too to see these two girls talk about like what separates them and what brings them together, and also like their own sexuality and being confident in that, and just kind of owning their whole selves. Like it's such a well written documentary, and it kind of breaks down like that nastiness that happens between kids in high school. And like most of the nastiness that happens is because of jealousy or lies or someone ruining your reputation. So it's like, I don't like people like that because so and so said that they did this thing. And it's like, yeah, man, that's what high school is in a nutshell. And it's like, it was nice to see them knowing that they're going to be spending time at the same university. It was nice to see them become friends, before high school ends. Like that gave me a little bit of comfort too.
Yeah, it definitely. I like comedy that takes me here, then here, then here, and then here. And that's exactly what that scene did. My favorite one was a teacher when she was talking when they were like, she's like, "You want me to take you to an unsupervised party?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's great, man. I didn't want you guys. I want you guys to
Right.
think it was me.
Yeah, that one threw me too. They're like, which way is this going to go? And then they're like, oh, okay. Yeah, there you guys. Yeah.
I
They
think that
was like,
really
oh, God.
and then
Now,
I was cracking up because she was basically saying she made a whole bunch of bad decisions, and then she like that was a thing of the past, and then she decides to come to the party and still make these choices, probably checking something off the list because she never had fun in high school, so she's having sex with a high schooler, and she's like, okay, is still getting stuff out of her system.
I just thought it was her saying, like, you know what? I could sneak in here, get a couple free drinks, and be on my way. That's what I thought. That's where I thought it was going. But of course, like
Yeah.
once old dude started, he saw her at the party and he started like fixing himself up. I was like, okay, here we go.
Mhm.
Part of the story.
uh, uh, mine had to be for sure that's when I thought we lost her. Was when she was like, guys, I am going to create a diversion. And then she goes, ah! And just goes running towards the cops.
Did you
I was
think the
like,
cops were going to shoot her too? I was like,
bro,
she's not going to
I
die.
was like, thank God she was like a rich white girl because I'm
Right.
like, this would have been
That's what I'm like.
completely
I'm like, what reality you guys in? I knew she'd be all right. Anybody else would have been.
no, actually when she discovers her little crush girlfriend is making out with the dude that her friend likes. Then she goes to the bathroom and hooks up with that other girl, and then she ends up throwing up on her. That's when I
Oh,
was like,
yeah. I thought that
Yeah,
was
that's a
funny
pretty good
too, and
sequence.
I do like how like I don't know, like I obviously I appreciate like movies have always been there with like happy endings and things like that. Like, usually know what the outcome's gonna be in a scene. But I thought it was very interesting like how realistic it was. Like your friend just told you you never take a risk, right? So you were like, nah, I'm gonna make out with this girl because I would never do something like this. And then like for it to not work out and you throw up, I was thinking to myself, man, she's probably like, this is why I never just do things. And I do like that they went through that because, yeah, just because you wake up one day and decide to take the risk doesn't always necessarily means it's going to work out, but life goes on. I kind of like that story. I think, like, if this movie would have been made 10 years earlier, they would have just had sex and it would have been okay. Like, there wouldn't have been a throw up scene. It would have been like, no, I'm taking a risk and it's all going to work out.
Right.
Like, it did not work out. That was the worst case scenario. You freaking throw up on the person while you guys are trying to get it on. And then she like didn't know what to do, right? Was she like in her belly button? Is that what happened? She
No,
no, on her butt.
Oh.
probably, yeah,
Oh.
probably your butthole.
Okay. I didn't know because like when she took her finger out, I thought that was like her belly ring. Like the reason why she threw up, like what was on her hand? I don't
I
know.
don't
But either way,
know. It
yeah.
could have been. I don't know though.
Did she get like
That was kind of a twist too. I didn't see that coming where both of their crushes would be making out with each other. Now there could have been a movie version where that was made obvious, but the way that I think they kept the secret was probably the director. She cast two people who didn't look like they would ever like be into each other, like from their worlds, and that's what kind of made it like, oh yeah, this chick, the skateboarding chick, is clearly a lesbian because that's all they led her up to be, and like the fact that she's with this other girl's crush, just kind of like, oh wow, okay, didn't see that one coming. I don't, yeah, that one kind of blew me. I'm like, I don't know where this movie's going.
But tell me from your perspective. I'll give you mine. I also was like, oh, that's the twist. Like literally when that happened, I was like, that's the twist. I don't know if I watched too many movies or I worked too much in the industry in the past, but I was like, this could have a better payoff if it was built slightly more or better or whatever. In the sense of like it felt like, oh, twist, whatever, but then it was like whatever. Like it didn't have like a strong,
Well,
like
I think that's what I don't know if it's writing, it's directing, it's creativity. Will Ferrell is one of the EPs. Like I don't know whose idea it is was to do soft innuendos, soft foreshadowing, but it was definitely that. The whole movie was that. It was just very light touches, like her hating him in the beginning. It wasn't enough for you to think she had a crush on him. Like she was so annoyed by everybody that it could have gone either way. It crossed my mind for a sec. Like maybe when she's like, I can't believe he was my VP this whole year. Like they kept doing stuff like that. And the same thing, like, is she gay? Is she not gay? To the girl that she had a crush on. Like the movie definitely centered around like not giving us much and then like big reveals.
bro,
Same thing like in the
my bad. Just for you saying that, like I legit, I keep thinking because I'm like, there's something about this movie that is just a little off to me, and like to me, what it is, and honestly, I see it now. It's like I cared way more about the one character's journey, like as far as like emotional pull, versus the other character. She didn't care really much about anything else. It's besides like being book smart, but like even the crush part later when they're talking about it, like that one girl is devastated and she got a rebound with the other chick. But like this one girl is like, "Nah, I don't care. You know, like in the moment that she's screaming Malala, she's like, no, I may have a shot. But then later she's like, I don't care. So she's like, she didn't care about much. And that made me not care in that sense.
yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, it was the first movie. I want to say first. Maybe there's been another one out there where I didn't really feel super attached to the main character, but I didn't mind it. But if you, but and I can definitely see how it's an adjustment because we're so used to it. We're supposed to root for the home team, and that's the pull of it. But yeah, like she almost had like borderline personality disorder. Like no, she wasn't attached to much. And like even like when she was done arguing, I don't know if they did this intentionally, but you notice how she was like sad for a sec and then she like just snapped out of it, like after the other girl walked away. And she was just
Yeah.
like, I don't know. She just didn't really
The,
attach herself to things.
the one thing I did notice, I don't know if you guys noticed, was when Lisa Kudrow and Will Forte come in the room, and she smacks the hat out of him, and the parents do nothing. They don't say nothing about that behavior. They just stand there shocked,
Wait, who did she smack? Remind me.
The
like
panda, I think.
they come in,
Oh,
they at towards the end or whatever, that she's in the room, and like Will Forte comes in, and like she smacks the hat out of him. And like there's
the
like a
hell?
moment that they're shocked, and then Will Forte says, "Someone's out here to see you," and that's when the other chick had come, or something like that. I don't know.
Hmm,
Are you talking about the smacking the panda out of his hand?
Oh
I
yeah, the
think so.
panda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that there was the game. There was a game in those scenes as well because and they set the game up almost like UCB style, where it's like our parents think that we're gay. Like they think that I'm gay and like and you've allowed them to believe that you're like my lesbian lover, and she's only doing it like for her own like amusement, right? She just is like totally tickled that her parents, that her best friend's parents think that she's her gay lover or whatever, her high school sweetheart. And it's like the furthest thing. So her acting jealous for like when the other girl comes around, all that's very funny to me. Like all that's just like there's the game inside the game happening. There's a secret that only the two characters and the audience get to know, and they're playing it on, the parents and anybody else who. So like, yeah, all that's very funny. Like that's just good comedy, right?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I guess it's just my kind of humor. Like, like even like I just my favorite comedy. My favorite more modern comedy is The Other Guys, and I don't remember if it's the writers or some of the EP. Well, obviously Will Ferrell was in it, but I think one of the writers was like a producer on The Other Guys, and like it's definitely my kind of humor, like that humor that's funny, but the story's not really clicking. Like there's loose ends with the jokes, but they don't care. Like the joke is more important than the story, and I definitely love that kind of comedy. So yeah, in those moments, it's freaking nuts. Like if you would slap your friend a teddy bear out of your friend's parents thing, they would have been like, don't ever touch me again. Like it's not realistic, but it's like, but it's the kind of funny I like because it's like an alternate universe where the jokes are more important than human interaction. And so it definitely was up my alley. All that stuff that doesn't make sense, like that's exactly the kind of comedy I like. Just like in The Other Guys, and I was looking at some credits of some people behind the scenes, and there was a few people that had credits to The Other Guys. I'm like, totally makes sense why. And I think one of the writers was like attached to like Get Him to Greek, another movie where the adventure and the funny are more important than something actually making sense about it. And that's just probably one of my favorite comedy styles.
Okay, yeah, I'm with you on that. It is kind of like up that alley. It's just weird, quirky. There's sort of a Seth Rogenishness to all of it, but yeah, it does remind you of like Superbad and House Party and like movies of that vein where there's yeah, just a lot of free flowing comedy, and just seems like everybody was having a whole lot of fun doing a movie like this and playing these type of characters. And oh, and then the casting. Let me just say the casting is incredible. I kept thinking like, who cast this thing? And then at the end, it was Allison Jones, and no, she's probably the best comedy casting director in LA. So yeah, that was kind of like, all right, obviously, she's the one finding all these people, and she knows that they're funny, and she's putting them in the room to be successful. So
Nice.
shout out
What
to
are some
her.
other things that she's done? What other things she's done?
She used to cast The Office.
Mm,
Just like anything that's comedy related, like all the biggest comedies in LA is what she cast.
nice.
Yeah, she's really good at finding new funny people.
Find me, Allison. Chee, chee, chee. I can
Yeah, yeah.
slap a panda. No.
Look her up. You'll see her resume is pretty impressive. So yeah. Anything else we should jump into about this movie before we dismiss? Anything else that needs to be addressed? Yeah, I feel like we covered a great deal of this thing, and
Yeah, I feel like it too. Yeah. Uh,
all right, well, right on then. Let's jump into final thoughts if we could. Steve Des, take it away.
Good movie by people that have a sense of humor like Marina. I would recommend it to them. Not for me. I think it's too long. Nice cameos. Jessica Williams, amazing. You won't root for most of the characters here, but they have nice personalities. I do agree. To create that type of chemistry between everybody in a fake high school and to make it look like that is definitely hard work for sure. So definitely see it for that. I realized watching this movie that I cannot play 18 to play younger no more. And yeah, I would definitely be a substitute teacher if I was in this film. Otherwise, I wouldn't watch this again. But that's my final thought.
All right, all right. Marina, got some final thoughts for us?
I loved it. Woo! I'll definitely watch this again. I feel like I'm gonna add this to my list of like comfort movies in the background. I just feel like it'll make me chuckle while I'm working from home. Um, I'd recommend this to anybody I talk to and they like Mean Girls. I'm like, you need to watch this. It's also high school, and it's also just funny. And I think one of you said that it has like notes of like good improv. It has some improv in there. So people maybe wanting to like listen to other comedians, watch comedians in a space that's like the jokes are back to back to back, and everyone's doing such a good job. Um, funny as Steve was talking about not being able to play 18 look younger. When I was watching this with my husband, I was like, man, I want to make a high school movie before I no longer can play anything. I said, man, actually, I might need to go ahead and play the teacher. I need to start writing this before I have to play the principal. But yeah, I it inspired me to want to create officially, like take all this love that I have for something about these high school films and like write something. I just got to think of something original. So probably
All
never
right.
happened, but it's on my list of things to write.
I don't
But
say it won't happen. It'll happen if you want it to happen.
if I get my butt up and type. But no, I watched it again. I recommend it. I loved it. I loved it enough for me and Steve together. So it becomes an A plus with
Okay.
my love.
All right. Uh, Welded together with the love. Uh, so I thoughts have not changed much since my initial thought. I love this movie. I love it so much. I think it's very, very funny. It's one of the funniest high school movies I've ever seen. I love all the actors. I love all the characters they built. I love the writing and all the characters that they did. That they I just love everything about this movie, man. And will I watch it again? Absolutely. I'm gonna watch this movie probably several times in my life. I can already tell. Um, I can see why it was added to the updated Time magazine 1001 movies you must see before you die. Uh, and mostly, I'll just be honest with you. I mean, there's a lot to like about it, but the thing that really stands out the most to me is the actual script and the direction of this thing. Just superb. Olivia Wilde, I think, is a really, really talented director. Um, uh, who would I recommend this to? I would recommend this to high school kids on up. If you love comedy, if you love high school movies, if you if you love the idea of being a feminist, as it would be. If you want to see movies with strong female leads, this is something for you. A female director, this is something for you. Female writers. So yeah, it's a very pro female film thing going on here. Film set. Uh, yeah, that's who I would recommend this to. And yeah, that's I guess that's my final thought. Really, really did dig this film. So that leaves me with one question per usual. Steve, what do you got for us next week?
Next week, I am so glad you asked me because it is my turn to pick a movie, and I need you guys' help
Okay.
because I picked two movies. I almost picked another high school movie, but I was like, we need to get out of high school, guys. We are
For now.
we are too old to be thinking about this high school stuff. So let's do old people stuff. You know what I'm saying? Not old people stuff, but older people stuff. So I have these two
College
movies.
college movie? You got a college movie for us?
No, no, we're not in college. But I mean, there's some humor there that could be college level. But anyway, I have these two movies. I know Jason sometimes speaks criterion films and the list of 1,000 movies you gotta watch before you die. I am in my own quest of movies that I thought were amazing growing up, and I want to rewatch them to see if they're still that great. So this time I have these two movies that you guys are gonna help me pick. So number one would be 2002 film, uh, starring a lot of your favorites. uh, making also cameos and stuff like that, is the movie. Uh, no, actually, I think I did it wrong. But anyway, 2000, 2009 first, 2009 movie, The Hangover,
Mm.
or or I gotta hold up. Okay, I gotta do that. Okay, or number two. This is the one that I was meant to put first, but now it's number two. Would be 2000. What the heck is that? 2002. Here we go.
We
What the heck
didn't
is
already
happening?
do the Hangover. We didn't do that one before.
No, we haven't done it. Uh
Oh, I forget the name of this movie. Undercover Brother.
Undercover Brother. So The Hangover, number one, 2009, or 2002, Undercover Brother. These movies are 7 years apart, but they're both comedies. They're both movies that I thought were amazing when I was growing up. And now you guys are gonna help me decide. So number one, The Hangover. Number two, Undercover Brother. And here we go in five, four, three, two, one, go.
That looks like a pick for the Hangover.
Anonymous decision or unanimous decision. The Hangover. I am shocked
Whoop,
by these
whoop.
picks. I thought we were watching Undercover Brother for sure. So we're
I
watching.
recently rewatched Undercover Brother, so I missed The Hangover.
Okay. So we're watching The Hangover for Marina. Watch Laugh and Cry. Jason underscore Echoes. Me, Steve, the TV. We'll catch you next week. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.